Let's face it, airports in Microsoft Flight Simulator are pretty boring. With AI traffic looking pretty bad and being sparse, it can feel like that you're the only person flying on the entire planet. So when Aerosoft announced their simple traffic mod for Microsoft Flight Simulator, I looked upon it with great optimism. When they released their trailer, I was still pretty excited. Well, today I got an email through from Vanessa at Aerosoft asking if I'd like to take a look at this project, and I happily said yes. It's not out yet for you guys, but it will be available on the store for €15 in the not so distant future, i.e. across the next few days, and it will be available on the Aerosoft shop. You can find the link to that in the description. In today's video, I'll be talking about what's good, what's bad, and would I recommend this add-on. I have to say, it's more than meets the eye. Would I recommend it? Wait until the end of the video to find out what I say. If you're new around here, if you like these kind of videos, flight simulator wise, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. And if you're into real world aviation, be sure to stick around. I do plenty of that as well. I'm also running a charity fundraiser raising money for two awesome charities, St Nicholas Hospice and SAFA. The link is in the description, but now let's get right into it. So before I get into it, it's important to set expectations right. The aim of Simple Traffic is to replace the default fictional liveries in the simulator with existing real world liveries to somewhat match the real world airport. It goes off real world routes and it works online and offline. It installs pretty easily and it's not a massive download. They use the example that you'll see lots of Delta aircraft at Atlanta and lots of Air France at Paris. Here at London Heathrow you can see we've got plenty of British Airways and Virgin Atlantic aircraft. It definitely feels more populated, but is that enough? I've turned off clouds just to get a better look at the aircraft, and you can see we get a wide array of different liveries, but on the default weird Asobo aircraft. Now clearly Aerosoft have been limited by Microsoft Flight Simulator's SDK, and it would appear they've tried to work around it by injecting real world liveries onto the Asobo aircraft. Now at the moment I'm using AI offline traffic, and that is simply because Microsoft Flight Simulator doesn't inject enough online traffic for it to even look like the real world. So I have used offline and ground traffic, and as you can see we've got a nice bunch here. Now I'm here at Heathrow Terminal 5, which is used by British Airways and Iberia as part of IAG, which is the International Airlines Group. Virgin Atlantic is not part of that, so that being here is pretty unrealistic. But hey, seeing as the majority of them are British Airways, I don't think we can necessarily complain. Now setting expectations right is paramount with this kind of thing. Clearly it's not going to accurately do what Asobo are trying to do in the future. It's not going to be a magic wand that makes Microsoft Flight Simulator look much more realistic through putting exact aircraft models with their correct liveries in place following real world routes. So what they do achieve is making the airport feel a bit more alive. But even then, it's not perfect, and as you can see, for some strange reason, the aircraft have all disappeared, and the jetways are moving back in, so there's clearly a few bugs. And then if we turn around, it would appear most aircraft have been replaced with incorrect aircraft, so it's clearly not completely up to scratch. A few bugs here and there by the looks of it. Being completely honest, I've got no clue why all my aircraft have been cycled out and replaced with inaccurate liveries. Somehow including 3 A380 jets or A380 style jets over here, and more aircraft popping in by the second. I have followed all of the correct controls on the manual and it still doesn't seem to be working as corrected. I have tried around before this video of course and haven't experienced this, so it is just a first experience on this video I guess. Of course, you do get aircraft flying around in the skies as you'd expect, and I'm sure we can go take a look at that in a minute. But first, let's take a look at one of the aircraft models, notably this A380 or A380 style aircraft by Emirates in front of us. As you can see, it's not great, I won't lie here. It's pretty disappointing. Now I know why they've done it. It's because if you've got a load of traffic around you, you want to optimize your space, but this just does not look up to scratch. It looks like a phone simulator. Being truthful, it's a massive disappointment, especially if you're at smaller airports where you're going to have fewer aircraft. You're going to notice it more. Maybe not here at Heathrow necessarily, but at smaller airports you would notice it. Now, it's got its pluses and it's got its minuses. I think modelling definitely has to be a minus. A plus would definitely be that it makes the whole airport feel a lot more alive. I'm not denying that, and for the most part it does reflect what aircraft you'd expect to see here. As you can see, we've got mostly British Airways aircraft here now, so it seems to sort itself out. So far, I'm about 50-50. I don't know necessarily how I feel. While it does populate your airports, the models aren't great, and there seems to be a few bugs that need sorting. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'm now going to move over to another airport. Now for the next part of the video, I've moved into settings, came to Atlanta and turned real-time online on. Before that, of course, because of all the aircraft there, I was going offline and I'd set my density to 52. But now let's see what we're dealing with here at Atlanta. You can already see we've got plenty of aircraft popping in because of course airliner coverage is greater in America than it is in most European places, especially in terms of tracking. Let's go catch that Delta aircraft now coming in. Now you can hear noises, so aircraft have noises as you'd expect, which is a plus. But if you look carefully, it's not spawning in. That is a Microsoft Flight Simulator limitation. I hope when it hits the ground, we'll see it. Bit of an invisible aircraft here. Maybe it's just a default Microsoft Flight Simulator bug. This add-on, of course, does not solve it. But if we come over to the Delta aircraft here, you can see it's spawned in and it is floating quite some bit. Here we've got a Delta 150 coming in. And there we go. As you can see, it does just follow default AI kind of patterns, which does mean they do completely taxi and everything, but it's not the optimum, is it really? We've got a few variations with the models, but on the most part they follow what Microsoft Flight Simulator offers. It's quite nice to have them reflect what you'd expect with real-world aircraft following their real-world liveries, but if I'm being honest, there is ways you can do this for free. In fact, I've done it before. I've done a video on it before. So all I'm really seeing at the moment is an add-on that adds some liveries to the default aircraft, which is something with a bit of messing around that you can do for free using an IVAO client, of which is perfectly fine to do. I'm not seeing much attraction here. If I'm being honest, €15, well, it might attract some people and I might be completely wrong, but seeing as Microsoft Flight Simulator's AI system is already pretty messed up, just painting over it isn't going to solve the issues that so many of us have come to experience. It's been rather difficult to review it, because throughout the video there's been mishaps and bugs that I just cannot ignore. And it's not necessarily Aerosoft's fault, it just seems to be an issue with the Microsoft Flight Simulator AI system, and bringing more stuff over to an already broken system is not going to fix it. I understand why they done it, and I understand how they haven't had the chance to fix it, because of course the SDK doesn't allow it. But then I ask, what's the point of this add-on? Some of you might be able to tell me, but I just cannot tell myself what's the point. Am I missing something? Maybe I am, I don't know. Benefits of this add-on would be the aircraft it does inject. If it gets them goods like having an A320 replaced with an A320, then it looks nice and realistic. But frankly, I don't want to be seeing any more Frankenstein aircraft than I need to be. It installs nicely, it runs nicely, doesn't seem to have a big impact on performance. But I don't think it adds anything, and there's plenty of ways to work around it for free. If I wanted more of a Sobo Frankenstein aircraft, well, I'd go out my way and buy them. I wouldn't buy this add-on. I'm going to give it a rating of 4 out of 10. It's a nice concept, but the execution isn't the best. €15 isn't too much money, I'll admit. It's about 12 UK pounds, and for what it adds, you might see it as worth it, and I think for that price point you couldn't really argue that it's not. But for me, it's got to be a 4 out of 10. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this review. Maybe I've been too harsh. Aerosoft do produce some awesome content, such as the CIJ, but I can't help feeling this is a bit of a cash grab. It doesn't really solve a problem, it merely adds to it and papers over some of the cracks. What do you guys think? If you have enjoyed, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I would genuinely be really interested, seeing as it's such an icky topic, I've got to be honest. Anyway, from me today, I'll see you around. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, it really does help me out. Thank you to my first class channel members, thank you to Captain Matt Russell, Jesse Wiseman, Ethan Bubeck, Simon Schmidt, Fanny Leibenberg, and hello, you guys really do help me out. On top of that, I've got my merch store in the description and the charity fundraiser, as I've already spoken about. I'll be doing a big old stream coming over to Christmas time to raise money as well, and of course do my skydive. I'll see you around guys, bye bye.